come around, motorcycle clubs.
Yeah, the MCs.
And they would come from all over the country, and they would bring her little figurines or a stuffed pig or all kinds. If it would, all things pig,
Right.
And we started a collection, which Harvey took a lot of.
Right.
But we still got a bunch of those pigs down there at Shorty's. That what's left, but the tradition stays.
See, I'm glad you clarified this because I was thinking this is either from Deliverance, which would be a little scary, or the Harley Owners Club, the hog type of scenario. But
no, it's all about Miss Rose and her birthday.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, we have a national act lives up in Austin. Nick Parr and the Selfless Lovers will be playing, and then we have a grunge band, Left Right Left, coming in, and I've yet to put together the solo act. Hint, hint.
It's okay. Well, so
We have one more to go.
you're saying there may be an opening.
Also coming up that same weekend is the Harvest Moon Regatta that takes off out of Galveston. That's a lot of fun too, watching those guys come in.
Oh, absolutely. Galveston's a great place too, by the way. I mean, they get wiped out more often than we do.
Yeah.
But I mean, they try really hard.
Yeah.
They don't want to admit it, but I think they aspire to be us.
Yeah, watching those boats come in from the regatta, the sailboats come in, it's just a beautiful thing,
Well, it is, and it's one of the things I love about our new baby bridge out there is that we have two permanent beautiful sails, and as the sun sets, a little bit different, and we've got this time of year, we've got gorgeous sunrises, gorgeous sunsets, and if I drive across that bridge almost every day, I wished I could turn the wheel over to Jesus and just take the camera, but
It's gorgeous. I love the new bridge. And something that, Ken Olberg mentioned a little while ago was coming over and seeing the water, and you feel that in your heart.
Yeah.
You know, and if you don't feel that, you're not human. That's just...
Well, some people need a plexiglass stomach in order to see where they're going. And but, it's if you don't look around, you're going to miss things.
Also, we have the Port Aransas Chamber of Commerce and Visitors Center are sponsoring a series of shows at the SIP Yard. Becky Hayden over there, the talent buyer, has put together a nice string of shows in September. I'll rattle them off here for you. Corey Morrow, for sure.
Nice.
Love Corey.
That's coming up on Friday the 26th. What's that, 2 weeks?
Yep, 2 weeks.
Then October 3rd, Eclipse. That's a Journey tribute band.
Okay.
That's nationwide. That's a national act. Then on the 10th, October 10th, is Jerry Diaz and Hannah's Reef, and that's trop rock, in the vein of Jimmy Buffett, that sort of thing.
A little cheeseburger in paradise.
I like that. Yeah.
I like that.
That's cool. Yeah. Jerry's one of those guys that just goes around from port to port in the Gulf, and he starts in the Keys and makes it finally to us,
Wow.
And,
That's cool.
Plays all the ports,
I like that.
trop rocking.
He's a true sailor, right?
Yeah, that's a troubadour if there ever was one.
Yeah.
And then on October 17th, it's the Texas Headhunters, which is a super group with Jesse Dayton, Ian Moore, and Johnny Moeller.
Man, I haven't seen Jesse Dayton in a long time.
Yeah, he's been out on the road. He's been doing well. I was looking at his website last night, and he's got like 10 albums out now.
Oh, man.
I used to know him way back when I was working with the Antone's record label. I had the booking agency for the label, and his wife was running the agency at the time. I used to bounce his kid on my knee. Now they're all grown up.
And now the kid could probably bounce you on his knee. I mean,
Yeah, and Johnny Moeller, he's on the road a lot with the Fabulous Thunderbirds.
Okay, I knew that. I had an experience with
The Moeller brothers,
Yeah.
Jay Moeller and Johnny Moeller.
I had an experience with the Fabulous Thunderbirds back in 1992, I think it was. The guy who was head of our Miller Beer here had a Sweet 16 for his daughter, and they had the Fabulous Thunderbirds, the something brothers. They sing Redneck or whatever. They were going to have George Strait, but he had a conflicting event. It was the pre-Thomas J. Henry type of event. And I hung out with the Fabulous Thunderbirds. They could do cool stuff like smoke a cigarette through their ear.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just, they were a great group of guys.
I got you beat.
Oh, man.
I was a bartender at Antone's in 1975.
Wow.
And the Thunderbirds played there every Sunday night.
Wow.
And it was a different lineup back there, but Kim Wilson was still blowing harp, and things progressed, and they're
Right.
still around all these years later.
They're still rocking. I mean, they had a great sound then. I mean, even prior to that, at the time, they were the cool rocker band.
Yeah,
I mean, you know,
yeah.
and they still are. I mean, they carry a tradition that it's hard to beat. You know, these guys are tough.
They came on doing a bunch of swamp rock, and they were doing a bunch of Lazy Lester songs.
Okay.
From way back then, Sugar Coated Love, and I'm a Lover, Not a Fighter.
Yeah.
That sort of thing. Always loved the Thunderbirds.
Yeah.
Birds. Kim Wilson still owes me $100.
You never forgot that. Who was the tallest one of that group? There was one guy. I mean, he could put his arms on top of our heads.
They went through several. They've gone through everybody. The drummer, who was that back then? Freddie Fayro, I believe.
Yes, I think so.
Buck on Skins.
Yep, yep. But they had a guy that reminded me of Bowser from Sha Na Na.
Yeah. That surprised me. And it was Jimmy Vaughn playing guitar. Is what started the group.
Right.
And he's still around.
Yep.
Stevie's brother.
Elsewhere, that's the Texas Headhunters. Kind of got sidetracked.
That's all right.
Then on the 24th, it's a super great night.
Uncle Lucius will be playing.
Love Uncle Lucius.
Yeah, and they have
Sour Bridges opened up for him, which is an incredible bluegrass.
Man.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, here's the thing, and again, I say this is Retro Country 105.9, 103.3 FM. We're live from Doc's Seafood and Steaks. But, you know, Uncle Lucius, when you do a music video in your backyard with a deer feeder and a hunting blind in the background, you know, you got some gritty.
And I love their singer, Kevin Galloway.
Oh, yeah.
He's just fabulous. That's a great group. I've seen them many times at the old back porch and just fell in love with them.
Yeah, yeah.
And they haven't been back. We may have had them for a Sandfest.
I can't remember.
But, well, you got all the good news here. Now, when is that going to happen?
Uncle Lucius is on October 24th,
All right, I'm marking my calendar.
and on the 25th is a band I'm not familiar with. I looked them up. It's called Briscoe, and they're a couple of young college guys from UT who have taken Austin by storm, and they're playing all the big rooms over there, and I look forward to hearing them.
Outstanding.
It's like, I don't know who
Briscoe is, but we'll find out.
You know, I found out I used to say never forget a name. I have so many names, so much stuff. If it has a vague flicker of a recollection, I probably just don't remember exactly how or where I knew him from.
Neither one of the guys' names is Briscoe.
No, I don't. Okay, and still nobody's answered my trivia question. We still don't know much about the Briscoe that was part of the Joe Briscoe pavilion that we have out there.
Briscoe King Pavilion.
Briscoe
yes.
King Pavilion. We
Yes,
know.
actually, it's funny. Dale Rankin, who's jumping on now, did
Yeah.
a story about Briscoe a little while ago.
Well, I'm excited about that because I've been asking for the longest time. My AI can't tell me anymore that he was once a prominent county commissioner, and I found death records from relatives, but nobody could tell me about the namesake.
Well, about 2 months ago, guy walked into my office, Atwill, from Jim Atwill. He's an attorney in Port Aransas, still practicing, and he was the justice of the peace up there. And he knew his name was J. Briscoe King, and he was a justice of the peace, I believe, here in town. He was a city attorney.
Okay.
He was a city attorney, and he got elected to a county court at law bench and passed away before he ever took office.
Wow.
But what he was known for was after the 1919 hurricane, they knew they needed a seawall downtown.
Right.
And it was a very laborious process to get the rights. They had to condemn a lot of property. And J. Briscoe King, he was J. Briscoe King the third, if I remember right. I did this. It's been a while since I did this story. And he was responsible for locking up the land for the downtown seawall. That was
Outstanding.
his claim to fame. Then once that was done, he was city attorney for a long time, a decade or more. And then he became ran for. He was appointed to county judge, but he didn't run. Then he ran for county court at law judge, won, and passed away.
My goodness.
And they named the building after him.
Wow. And so the whole talk of him being a former county commissioner, that may be a misnomer.
I think that's Bob Hall. I could be wrong.
Well, I mean,
But Jay Briscoe King was on the, where that comes from, he was on the County Coastal Parks Board.
okay.
That's
okay.
where that came from.
Well, see, I'm glad to know more about this. I think that we can lose our history real quick if we're not careful. And I found, there was a Briscoe King III, I think. Somebody died in 2004.
That was his son.
That was his son.
He was Briscoe King. He was Jay Briscoe King Jr.
Junior, that's right.
And he passed away in 98, maybe, or something like that.
There was somebody that died in 94.
94.
And then a relative that was even more distant that died in 2004. And that was what I was like,
I think that was his son.
maybe a son. I went all the way back. He married into a very prominent family that had connections to our previous governor, which was kind of
He
interesting.
did. And that was in the story. It was, I can't think of the name. But yes, he did. But I'll, if you go look on the Island Moon Facebook page, and the story's on there.
I'll check it
Because
out.
I did about 1,000 words after Jim Atwell came in, because he sat in my office and told me the whole story.
Wow.
He had a fascinating story. He ran for Justice of the Peace in Port Aransas I want to say in the 70s. And a guy ran against him. May have even been Duncan Niblett. I don't know who it was. But anyway, somebody ran against him. And he called up his friend on election day who lived in town,
Right.
and said, you can vote absentee, because the election was approaching. And the guy, his friend that lived in town, was on it, but he lived in Port Aransas, but he was in town. So he and his wife voted on their way out of town.
Wow.
Right? And so when they opened the ballot box election night, he got elected by 2 votes.
Wow. So it was a good thing that he went and voted.
So the 2 votes that his friend cast in town is what got him elected.
I tell you this, and I know we're probably time to take a bonus promotional moment, but I will say this. I have voted in a surgical gown with an IV hooked up to me that I
Yeah.
carried in to go and vote, because you never know.
Right.
There was one election where I did not go and vote because it seemed like it was, and they lost by 1 vote.
Well, didn't we have, we had an election decided recently with a coin toss, didn't
We
we?
did. We had a tie, a count, and a recount, tie, and that was Everett Roy and Bobby Lerma. Now, Bobby Lerma announced some months back, he said, you can take it to the bank, I'm running again. And so when you've got a 50-50 split like that, it's very difficult.
I mean, you flip the coin next time, he might win.
Right. I mean, for crying out loud, if we're drawing straws, I do well at that.
Well, that's an interesting thing. It's so easy in a place like Houston or Dallas to just get lost in the shuffle.
Yeah.
And you think you have that mindset, it doesn't count, And down here, every vote makes a
All you
difference.
do is settle it by arm wrestling.
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Well, Indian leg wrestle, I hear, was
Yeah.
on the city's charter for a long time.
Look,
But
I've
that's-
got Vaseline Wrestling. We could do that too. I still think they ought to hire me to do their retreat. They would be bonded when we got done. And
There was a dispute some years ago in San Antonio over Herb Callagher, the guy that founded Southwest Airlines, and there was a dispute over gate rights between, I think it was Dallas and San Antonio. And so he and the other owner of the airline decided to cite it by an arm wrestling contest. So Herb Callagher, he's the attorney that founded Southwest, he shows up at the arm wrestling contest with a headband and a T-shirt that says "Champ" smoking a cigarette. That's a showman. He knew exactly what he didn't care. They'd already worked out the gate rights. They just wanted to have a little publicity going.
Oh, I got some T-shirt stories to tell you just from yesterday alone. But we are here on Retro Country 105.9 and 103.3 FM. It's the Eric Von Wade Show. Mushroom Cloud of Truth brings you. We're going to hear more about some of the exciting entertainment that's going on. We got Augs. We have a brain trust here and a beautiful view. It's par to nothing. And I tell you, I'll say good morning to our Mayor, Paulette Guajardo, who gave me a nice compliment for all the positive things I've been saying at City Council. I'm going to keep back and do more of that.
I got a little red rooster to lazy to cross the road. I got a little red rooster to lay across the day. He keeps everything in the barnyard. I'm saying, hey. God begin to bark. Begin high, yeah. Lord, God begin to bark. Begin to high, yeah. You gotta watch out all you kinfolk. There's little red roosters on the prowl. I want to tell you that he thought of hymns. Right here on himself. Oh, yeah. Fighting among themselves, yeah. We don't want no healing all around the yard. Laying there for nobody else. Oh, now. Excuse me, I'm blowing my harmonica right here. I got
It's the Eric Von Wade Show, live from Doc's Seafood and Steaks out here on the island. Ronnie Narmore joining us, Dale Rankin here for a little bit longer, and the man, the myth, the legend himself, Eric Von Wade.
I was looking behind me to see who, if Joe Gazen was still here. I tell you, no, I appreciate it all. I like it when you introduce me here when we're out here. That way, you've got the board. You're in control. I never produced my show for 28 years. Now I do it every day, and so if I'm not running the board, I feel like I'm running around naked, you know, and that's not good. There's children out.
You can do that on radio.
Yeah, you can, but not when we're live on location. Docs,
And
you know.
now back. And now back to our anchor in the studio. I'm not wearing pants.
That's it. I don't wear pants sometimes, but that's how you know I'm having a good time. I say this, but before we get too crazy with all of that, I'll talk to you about my tattoos and handcuffs later. But we have a couple more bits of entertainment to get on.
I do. Let me finish this up with the Chambers series of shows. The grand finale is on Halloween with Shiny Ribs, and
I'm going to that one.
Yep.
yeah, we got front row for that one.
I got a buffer. I'm going to polish my ribs
Yeah.
up just to match the thing.
They do.
I think
They
the
do
last
what,
time
about an 8 or 9 piece. They got horns and
yeah.
chick singers and
Yeah.
Kevin. What's this? Kevin Russell.
Kevin Russell.
Yeah.
I'm a big Gorge fan. I love the Gorge.
I love the Gorge too. Okay.
Yeah.
Gin and juice has never
Yeah.
been so awesome.
Yeah.
Yep.
I gotta say this.
Yeah.
I saw the most hilarious, embarrassing, and entertainment thing on YouTube you can find. It was like some. I don't want to say it was BET because I wouldn't put that on them, but it was some black entertainment segment where there was a younger, a very attractive woman there, and a guy who was maybe a little bit older, but not too much. And he said, "You know, we review songs all the time. We've got this Gorge song." and she listened to it and she was all offended. So they just used the song and just made up lyrics, and he goes, no, it's word for word accurate. It's word for word.
Well, the Gourds were voted the best band in Austin's, I think, 6 years in a row.
Yeah.
Yep.
By the Chronicle, and so you had a bunch of hippies from Austin channeling a rapper from Compton with a mandolin.
Right.
That's pretty good stuff.
Let me tell
They
you.
do that show in there. Shiny Ribs does that song.
I want to hear that. I'm down for that, because if they're covering the Gorge Gin and Juice,
Yeah.
I'm so there.
Yeah, I'm sure they take requests.
Well, we saw them on the beach at the Sandfest,
Sandfest
and they
was
did
the
it
last
that
time they
day
played.
because I waited for it.
Yeah.
Yep. There's a number of lines from that song that can either be icebreakers or
Yeah.
you're going to be standing by yourself at the bar. Because you can't just go up to a woman and say, hey, my homeboys are here, and they got to talk about it. It just doesn't work.
Yeah.
I don't know where they came up with that stuff.
When they played that show at Sandfest, they showed up the next day at the Gaff to watch me race belt senders. And they sat in the pirate boat, the whole band back there, and I lost.
Well, look, it's a fun experience, and I tell you, even if you've never heard of some of these bands, there's no bad talent. If this guy's telling you it's good, you need to be there for it,
yeah.
because when I volunteered at the Briscoe King Pavilion to be their MC for a fundraiser the VFW had,
Yeah.
I had the best time. Now, I knew Ty, and Ty Dietz, and so he and I bonded though a bit, and he said I was actually cool, that most of the MCs were a-holes, and I was not. So I thought I got that endorsement. But I
Well-
met all these other bands, totally different styles, and we all got along. The only thing I regretted is I just cut 18 inches off of my hair. I would have fit right in with it.
Said, sell that down at the wig shop, did you?
I know. I glue it in a cowboy hat, and I let my buddy Larry Elizondo, I don't want to mention his name, I let him wear it when he wants to feel like he's back in the 70s again.
We have some other events going on. One at Heritage Park in October, the
64th annual Texas Jazz Fest.
Again, a fantastic event. If
It
you
is.
don't have a good time walking around,
Yeah.
you'll meet new people. If you're single, you get to meet somebody else. And jazz sounds so much better live.
Oh, yeah.
That's it. That's
We got the Wooden Boat Festival coming up too, right?
right.
Farley Boat Festival. That every year.
Farley puts on.
And
It's a great show.
I make
too.
my annual resolution to build a wooden boat. This is going to be the year, and I renew it each year.
No, we can build it. I built lots of wooden boats. Now, if it's going to stay afloat is a
Right.
whole other thing.
Well, they'll if you go to the Farley Boat Works, they have plans and they'll help you do it. And you can actually, I know a couple of people that have done it. You can actually walk out with a boat. You do the heavy lifting, but they show you how to do it.
I would love to do that. Where is this again?
It's at Roberts Point Park is where they do the show.
It's a
festival.
And they'll build
in
the
the
boat.
park.
They'll usually build one or two boats there during the
they do.
weekend. They
On
got
the
a
spot.
tent, and they start on Friday morning, and they go through, and on Sunday afternoon they launch them.
It really is an amazing
There
festival.
needs to be a Von Wade. I can just see this already.
Well, you
right
can
now.
build one, and they're not that expensive. Then they all go over to the boat ramp there at Roberts Point Park, and they launch them.
And the Farley Museum is actually like you're going towards the ferry and you take the cutaway road, the cut through road, and it's off to the right just before you get to the landing.
You got a warehouse. I mean,
Yeah,
a
and
workshop.
it's really cool because it's a living museum. You know, you get to be in there and be a part of it and make your own wooden boat. There's something so poetic about that. I
Greg
love
works with
it.
them. I think he might be on their board or
Do
something.
you have to bring your own wood?
So they've
No,
got,
they order it for you. Well,
you can get it delivered to there, and
and they
they've got
cut
plans
it. They
down-
cut it there because you pick the boat that you want to build,
Right.
and they have the plans. And they just were able to build one of the old classic Farley boats, like you see that FDR on.
Yeah, yeah.
They didn't have plan. I think it was that boat. One of their main boats. They didn't have plans for, and they found one in a garage somewhere up in Aransas Pass or Rockport or somewhere, and were able to take it apart and see how it was built. So now they know how to build that classic Farley boat.
I'm getting their number before you leave. Because I'm going to move this up on my checklist. I was going to fly stunt planes in Las Vegas because I saw
Yeah.
a commercial on Facebook for that. But that may be the end of my bucket list. So I thought, I'll move this. This seems like I might survive.
I got
it.
one more from that bucket
Go
list.
ahead.
on
Sometime in November, I ran into Kip at the Ace Hardware yesterday, and he pulled me aside and said that,
In Annabelle?
no, Kip Shannon that owns the Gaff.
Oh, I thought you were saying the Ace Hardware.
in Port A.
At Port A. Oh, never mind.
That's why I ran
Yeah.
into him. He was telling me that they have a date picked in November for one of these
Talk right into the mic.
like Hill Country Reporter or some local Texas television show is coming down and filming it on the 20th anniversary of the belt sander races.
Oh my
At
goodness.
the Gaff.
Yeah. Okay.
And you will. I've been racing there a long time with my Moon Monkey. He's had better days.
Mike Ellis will be glad to hear that. That's one of the first places Mike took me when I met Mike.
Yeah.
We went to Port Aransas and went to the old Port Aransas Ice House where they
Yeah.
had a jam session. And we went to the Gaff and watched the belt
That was
sander races.
Paul Fane's place.
Okay.
Was it really?
The old ice house.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever thought about doing this and just put a little alcohol on the table? Because already I've had so much fun. I had serious stuff to talk about, but now I'm planning on boat races, belt sander races. I mean,
Belt sander races are serious.
yes. I mean,
Oh yeah.
Well, there's about to be a pressure washer race going on beneath us.
oh my goodness! I
yeah.
see him down there. You want to go flirt with her, see if she'll stop?
They won't.
I think it's underneath us at the water line. They're cleaning things up. I'm gonna go have a word.
Okay. So we keep talking? Or
Yeah, yeah, I'll tap
Okay,
in.
we'll keep talking then. I was so distracted by all this fun.
I was distracted by the drug boat that just went by.
Well, look, I got a
See that
picture.
thing?
Yes, I got a picture from when y'all were here about, I don't know, 3 months ago. Second time I came. There was this big, beautiful barge coming through here, and I got to show it to you. It
Yeah.
makes- I started bringing my camera now because there's too many good pictures I'm missing out on with a professional
Yeah,
camera.
you know, we since we've been doing the video feed on Facebook, we get that kind of feedback. People see, you don't realize all the barge traffic and boat traffic going by here.
Oh, yeah.
You can't have a better place to do a radio show than here.
No, and I'll tell you this though: whoever went by and made this wake made a bigger wake than that barge that came through.
Barges are good at that.
Yeah, no, I mean it's a gorgeous thing. If you haven't come by the way, I always wanted to say record in front of a live studio audience. And this is live. If you want to be a live studio audience, you're welcome to come down here. I've got guests, and everybody had something come up that was supposed to be here. But in the last few days, there's been more buzz about Retro Country 105.9, 103.3, and what we're doing here. There's been one quality show after another, from the Morning Wave, Larry Elizondo's Power Hour. There's this other show that comes after that, but I mean, a lot of great stuff. I met a good friend that I hadn't seen in years, Jason Cox. He used to be with Mission Ice, now he's with Easy Ice. I tried to get him to see if they'll come up with a special bag for me, Easy E Ice, and then there was a rapper that already had that. So
Mission Ice, boy, there's a blast from they're based in San Antonio.
yeah, I know. Well,
I talked them into dropping it. They had a polar bear at the San Antonio Zoo. Pooh, his name was Pooh. and he had
a gangster named
Pooh the polar bear, and he had no shade in his pen except one little corner right back by a limestone cliff.
Right.
And he would wedge himself in there. And so I was up at the Willie Nelson picnic, and I ran into a vice president of Mission Ice, a friend of mine, and I said, I got a plan. I have a plan. I need you to show up at the San Antonio Zoo with a slab of ice about the size of a pool table Monday morning. And he did.
Wow.
So I go over there, and the zoo wouldn't let me in. And I said, well, you got a polar bear in there in 100-degree South Texas heat. And you're telling me, and I got a TV camera with me,
Right.
that you're not going to let me take this slab of ice and put it in. And they kicked the dirt for a while. And they said, all right, okay. So they opened the gates. Mission Ice truck goes in. They dumped this slab of ice into his pool, which was a little bit bigger than a pool table, just big enough for him to get into.
Right.
As soon as that ice hit the water, he came tearing out of his little hole over there, and my closing shot was him lying flat on his back
that must have been
on that
great.
sheet of ice. I've been waiting for this my whole life.
It's like finally,
Who the polar
my
bear?
prayers have been answered. You know what you could have done and got double the work out of it? You take a 3/4 inch drill bit, put it in a cordless drill or plug it in, whatever you got to do,
Yeah.
and you just make a channel down that thing, and you pour a shot of whatever you want. By the time it gets to the end, it is chilled.
Yeah, that's good to know.
I mean, I just come up with these things. I'm not saying everybody
Well,
has to go.
best I could do, on my way out, I threw grapes to the monkeys and got in big trouble for that. You're not supposed to feed the monkeys at the zoo. And the monkeys knew it. When you throw a grape, they grab it and shove it in their mouth and go hide in the corner while they chewed it.
Oh man.
They're
Then
smart.
I get the call from the zoo, you can't be feeding the monkeys grapes.
You know, it's funny how they seem to be more intelligent than a lot of the criminals that we have.
Yeah. Well, one got loose one day and went running down Broadway.
Yeah.
He's a big African monkey, Asian, some guy, he's green guy, about 3 feet tall.
Wow.
And he got loose and he ran into the Volkswagen dealership, and they trapped him in the office, and he started taking the phone and banging it on the window, so they let him out, and he ran down Broadway, and by the time I got there, he was in the Gucci B down there on HEB on Broadway, and I walk into the store, and the cops are there, and they got him cornered, and I walk in, and he's sitting up. This is how I knew monkeys like grapes. He's sitting up on top of a pile of grapes, eating them as fast as he can, and they shot him in the butt with a tranquilizer gun, and he fell asleep with a grape hanging out of his mouth. And they put him on a stretcher and took him back to his pen, where he had a great story to tell all the other monkeys.
I feel like I have a story similar. They shot me too, but it was.
Right. It involved an 8-liner parlor in Rob Stewart.
Okay, see, if we had alcohol, this would be too much fun. I can tell you already. Do we cover all the entertainment? I keep feeling bad.
Ronnie, is there anything else you
You're
need?
a catalyst for stories over here. Well, you can stay with us. I mean, you don't go away. I just want to make sure we got the entertainment.
Kingsville.
Well, before we go, I was talking about Jim Atwell and Briscoe King.
Right.
He at one point he owned the Tarpon Inn, and he sold it to Bart Simpson, that Ronnie worked for, back in I guess in the 90s,
Simpson.
Yeah.
who ended up selling it to Leroy.
I ran a club for Bart in San Antonio called the Laboratory Brewing Company, right there across from the quarry. We had 2 big stages. It was a big live music place.
Wow.
And Bart sent me down here to open. He had just bought the Tarpon Inn, and what was the name of that club?
Sharkies?
That they all dress up like old soldiers during Fiesta, the Cavaliers.
Yeah.
Yes.
The Cavaliers.
Yeah.
He bought the inn because he wanted a place for his Cavalier buddies to
That's
come.
Texas Cavaliers.
Texas Cavaliers.
They wear those powder blue uniforms.
Yeah, they look great. But
Man.
he wanted, at the time, I was running a martini bar down on the Riverwalk called Swig. And he wanted, it was a real popular place. We did jazz trios. And he wanted that sort of thing at the Tarpon. And so, well, okay. So I was living at the Tarpon back in the manager's quarters, and we'd already run the gas line, and I'd laid out, I'd taped off where all the equipment was going to go, and in walks another guy who bought it all in one day.
My goodness.
Yeah.
You know, I tell you, there's so much interesting stuff and so much talent that we have in this area. The island is one of my favorite places to go now, and
We fly under the radar.
well, shoot, you know what? I'm going to put you on top of the radar. We need to get a sponsor for the Eric Von Wade boat, and then belt sanders. I lost my last belt sander a few months back, and I need another one. I got a number of knives that need to get retipped and a few other things, and then I could double that as a racer. I mean, you know, it's
You make a living during the week doing hanging sheetrock using your belt sander.
There you go.
Ronnie and I got to go, but I'll tell you a Texas Cavaliers story on the way out the door. When I worked at the Express News, the Battle of Flowers parade goes down Broadway and 3rd Street, right by the Express News window. They had to make the windowsills in the newsroom on the 3rd floor peaked so the reporters wouldn't sit their bottle out there, because the nice ladies in the Battle of Flowers parade would get offended if the reporters covering the parade from the window were drinking. And so our publisher, Charlie Kilpatrick, for years tried to get in the Texas Cavaliers. Couldn't, for whatever reason. It's one of the hardest clubs in San Antonio to get into.
Right.
And so, and they do the Battle of Flowers, and they got those blue blue jackets and the blue hat with the red cap and feather. They're really cool looking, right?
right.
So finally, Charlie gets into the Texas Cavaliers, and here comes the Battle of Flowers parade. And Sam Kendrick was our reporter, our columnist at the time, and he and Charlie always had a kind of a love-hate relationship, mostly hate. And so Sam writes a story, comes out in the paper the next day, and he says, the Texas Cavaliers came down Broadway resplendent in powder blue polyester made a left turn on the 3rd Street by the Express News, and everyone was out of step except old Charlie. And they fired him the next day.
When you come back next time, and when I have you, I'm gonna have you on the show just anyway, because I wanted to talk to you about a few things. One, there's a hotel in San Antonio, and I think their claim to fame is that they had Al Capone stay there one night, and they've turned it into a retirement home.
That's maybe the Robert E. Lee.
No, it's like right there near the historic downtown area. It's got a Satia tile roof. It's multiple stories. It used to have a grand ballroom. It was the place
Oh,
to
you're
stay.
talking about La Monsione.
And, well, they let me go with a camera anywhere you wanted to go.
Yeah,
and they
that's
said
cool.
anywhere but the top floor. The
Yeah.
maintenance guys goes, let's go to the top floor.
Right.
City Hall used to be in this place at one point in time. They still have the old City Hall that was there. And they got an elevator that, cut your fingers off because it's got that expanded metal that,
Not sure which one that would be.
It's right there.
Is it tall or
It's a tall, it's a retirement, assisted living type place now. And they've
it's
got
over
a,
there by the courthouse?
yes,
Yeah,
yes, it
yeah,
is.
I know what you're talking
And-
about.
What the Gunter was it?
No, it's by the old
It's not called the Green.
the tall building with the green top.
Yep.
It's
Is
next to
that the
that.
Minger?
Minger. I think it is the Minger, maybe.
Minger's right next to the Alamo.
No, that's not the Minger then, because I've been in that one too. But
That-
That's the
fact-
haunted one.
that's the haunted one.
The
That was-
Alamo
got that.
developers just bought the Minger and the Crockett, and they're going to make it part of the Alamo footprint. They're gonna
I
take it
did
into
not
the-
have a professional camera when I was at the Minger, but I'll tell you, this hotel, this once hotel, Grand Place, has, they gave me access to everything. Now, here's the one thing. I even had access to a manhole.
Yeah.
All right? Now, you want to talk about I thought I'd be offending women. I wanted to get some of that lower than street shot type stuff in the
Yeah.
manhole. No, women would walk by and,
Yeah.
and flash you. There's pictures I can't show, and so. But that place, I had buzzards that landed right there on the railing next to the window, like they were posing for pictures, and buzzards.
Yeah, that place is right next to. It's across the street from what used to be the Tally Ho Inn.
There, okay.
By the courthouse, and when
Yes.
the jury would get hung up on at night, like usually on a Friday night, they couldn't come back with a verdict. They go in the jury room, they tell them, if you don't have a verdict in 1 hour, we're putting you up in the Tally Ho Inn. And they would come back with the verdict because everybody had eaten over there before.
Wow.
And knew better.
See, I know that you can fill in the gaps of history. That one of the most famous things is I thought that most people don't know how Flower Bluff got its name, and
It was a federal raid.
The Pastry Wars.
Yeah.
the Pastry Wars. There you
Yeah.
go. Can you believe? And this goes
Which
back.
is not just a baking competition
No.
on Netflix.
No, it is not.
I forget the name of that captain, the boat captain.
It was all because people got offended by the way they were being treated, and
They were smuggling into Mexico out of Flower Bluff.
Yeah.
When they were trying to avoid the tariffs that France was putting on them for. That's what the pastry wars were, and then
Right.
France claimed they owed, I forget what it was, $1 million, $15 million, whatever it was, and that was their pretext for invading, and they were smuggling flour out of Flower Bluff. When the Navy showed up, and that's where the name, because I always wondered why it wasn't FLOWER,
right.
and that's why.
Yeah, I tell you, it's like the King Biscuit Flour Hour almost here.
Exactly.
I tell you,
Paul Ferguson.
yeah, there you go. The thing is, if you and I ever get on the same team for trivia, we'll kill them. We'll kill them.
As long as there's no math.
Well,
run through,
I'm
yeah.
in 100% agreement with you on that. The one thing I brought up at the last city council, I have little confidence in my math. They destroyed what little I had left. If the price says $1.15 for Funyuns, it better be $1.15, not $1.85. And it just keeps saying, put in more money. I thought, well, am I not counting money right?
Yeah.
I brought that up first. Nobody else had mentioned that. And those prices have been the same for a while. Because I
Do they
just,
still make Funyuns?
yeah, they
Oh,
do.
yeah.
They
They
make
do?
Funyuns. I had a payday, and I had chili cheese corn chips. I was
Well, that's
hungry.
like breakfast of champions right there.
Eh.
Wash it down with a big red, you're good to go.
I was going to get a Big Red, but I ran out of money because it was $1.85.
Well, I hear they're using the dye in big red is what they're going to outlaw.
You know what? That's why I'm stocking up on it. That's how I keep my golden glow. It's that they can
We'll
come
have
up
to
with
switch to
another-
RC Cola.
Right?
well, and a moon
Barbacoa
pie.
and RC just
And a
doesn't
moon
have the
pie,
same
it's a
ring.
breakfast.
Put some peanuts in it.
Yeah.
I've done all that, and here's the thing, though. I like Mr. Pibb. You can't hardly find Mr. Pibb anymore.
That's true.
Yeah. Now,
There's probably a reason for that.
Dr. Thunder is the Mexican version, and it tastes a lot like Mr.
I don't want
Pibb.
to drink anything called Dr. Thunder.
Oh, yeah.
like the
Oh, ye of little
implications of
faith.
that.
Yeah.
There's a thing called Thunderbird. I don't know if you heard about that. Night Train.
Yes.
I mean,
Price is 40 twice.
I had a friend of mine's dad take it away from us one time in college, going, "You're gonna go blind."
Well, the good thing about Thunderbird, when I was over there at Gregory Portland High School, and we go over to the beach, you get a bottle of it for 89 cents over there at Dan's Drive-In,
Yeah.
where they didn't really check IDs that much. And the good thing about Thunderbird was it tastes exactly the same, whether it was ice cold or whether it was rodeo cool after 4 hours at the beach. It tastes exactly it's turpentine when you open the top and when you get to the bottom.
I believe that is true with some other things too. Now, I love 99 butterscotch. Not a big fan of any other 99 flavors. It's, it's stout. It'll do the job. But if you get it in the freezer and it's ice cold, it is smooth and fantastic.
Wash it down with a Little King.
Yeah, it goes great over Bluebell ice cream.
Oh,
with, you get some the caramel and chocolate, and man, you got a deal. But if you drink a 12-pack of that a day, you might start passing blood. That's when I decided, okay, I need to cut back, and I went to Jameson's. And
I think that might be true of Big Red, too. I've never tested it. But, I mean, it's not going to be the same if it's not red. And if they can't come up there, I'm sure they'll find a substitute dye. But
what flavor is Big Red, by the way?
I would say
It's like a
strawberry
strawberry bubblegum.
with
That's what kind of what I get.
yeah.
No, it's red.
Because that
It's flavor, red.
it has its own unique flavor. I can't picture it, and I've got a sophisticated
I don't know
palate.
that I ever saw Doug Somm without one of those in his hand.
Oh, yeah.
He was a Big Red guy.
It's the number one drink in the hood, let me tell you that. La Tomata, if you're not drinking a Big Red every now and then.
Wash down a moon pie with one of those.
Yes, you can. Here's the thing. I haven't found an alcohol that mixes well with it, though, so that doesn't make any sense to me. You can put whiskey in just about anything and tolerate it. But,
Big Red would override just about anything.
yep, it's got, now Big
Except
Red.
for Thunderbird wine.
Hey, there you go. And that's perfect as it is. You don't want to mess with that. I'll tell you another thing that people probably don't appreciate. If you have any kind of like skin on your tongue you want to get rid of, chew some Big Red gum. That stuff will.
It's
mean,
abrasive.
it will. It's just something about it. My tongue will swell up. I can't hardly talk. People who don't like me are always offering me that.
You
Big
could, say,
Red
that
gum.
could be, you could incorporate that into a Halloween costume.
Oh, hey. There you go. Chew
A
me.
swollen red tongue. Yeah. You go as a politician.
Yeah,
There's a lot,
other ways.
a lot of possibilities there.
There's other more fun ways. to
Ronnie
get
and I
that.
got to run. We got to go do some
right.
moon business.
I just thought I'd see how long
Good
I can
seeing
make
you
you stay.
guys.
It is the Eric Von Wade Show. You guys are too much fun. Thanks for being here.
We're the delivery boys today.
There you go. Well, I like the hat too. Next time I'll wear mine. I need a
right.
straw.
We'll see you, man.
See ya. Take it easy. That's the Island Moon, and I have a special signature goodbye wave, but there's children here, so I can't show them that one. No, I got a special handshake. I thought we could have the Island Moon, but they will charge you with sexual harassment for that now.
Yeah, and
It's not an invitation for
there are
crying out
cameras
loud.
everywhere. That's the thing now. There's
I
just so many cameras, and you can't avoid it.
No, I tell you, and Oggs, it's great being here out at Doc's Seafood and Steaks.
Man, this is fun. It's already 9:50. Time has flown by.
Oh my goodness! Have we taken a second bonus promotional moment?
No, not yet. But we'll finish this out. You mentioned Thai Deets earlier, so we'll end the show
Yep.
playing some Thai Deets. There are a few things that I did want to talk to you about, and I know
Okay.
you had a quick little list of stuff.
all right.
I will throw a teaser out there though. A buddy of mine.
Yeah.
I kind of mentioned this to you yesterday. Is opening up a gunsmithing and repair kind of customizing shop, and
I like
these guys are shooting pros who know all the science behind everything. I ran into him a little while ago, and we were having a conversation about gun myths and misinformation.
Right.
And just in the 5 minutes, I actually stopped him, and I said, "Don't say anything else. Like, make a list on your phone of the things
Yeah.
we're talking about." I said, "We need to get this on the radio because it's so hilarious." What people have done, between everything from, your grandfather's guns to all the new tech coming out.
Oh, yeah.
So it's fun. So we'll have that on, my buddy on a show later on to come. But there are a few other things that you wanted to get on and at least tap while we're here.
Well, and one, I'm glad we're having some fun, and I promise I'm going to talk more about this as the week goes on. But Charlie Kirk, I think it is a testament to why. Every time I go before council, I try to show respect. I do every subtle thing I can possibly think of to show some respect, no matter how much I may have in disagreement with somebody, and I have fun with it. There's always a line. And if we don't maintain that line, if ever there's no excuses for it, we're all responsible. I mean, the cursing and the rest of that, and the anger, the shaking, it has no place in our form of government if we don't want what happened to Charlie Kirk to happen to everybody else. Now, I'm not one who gets all upset about using the phrases, he's got this seed in his crosshairs. I think that's a bunch of hooey. That's a stretch of the imagination. But when you start a hatred that you use to satiate that desire to feel that rush, It's the same sort of thing that you have when you lose control of your emotions and you're robbing a liquor store or a convenience store and you shoot the clerk. Every psychologist that's ever studied them says the first time you pull that trigger, it weighs 10,000 pounds, and it gets lighter every time you do it. And that envelope keeps getting pushed, and the line keeps getting pushed every time. And so I can have a lot of fun, and I use comedy more than I do seriousness, but I may be vehement about things. I've thought people were a little too sensitive. I'll call them fainting goats, but that's not the same thing as what's going on here, where somebody takes this. If you don't like what somebody's saying, say something different better.
And you can change the channel.
Right.
That's the best part about this. Every phone has YouTube on it. You can go to something that you agree with.
Right.
There's tons of it.
Right. Now, I think there's a problem, too, with people who only want to hear stuff they agree with. I seek out people that I disagree with. When I'm at City Hall and they open up that 6th floor, my homies on cell block 6, hey, I think I was the only one who had a difference of opinion that was for desal, but I had a great time hanging out with all of them.
Yeah, that's one of the benefits of this show. You have people on that have differing points of view, but you're not sitting here arguing about it. You can present your case, talk about what's going on, and in a lot of cases, guess what? Get this, people, you may not know everything.
Right.
There are a lot of things going on behind the scenes that people aren't privy to, and they make up their mind off of someone's impression, and they base it on that, thinking that they know all the facts. And this desal example was a perfect or desal project. The whole thing was a perfect example.
The Inner Harbor contract with Kiewit, to be more specific. I'm making Gil Hernandez happy.
Yes. It was a perfect example of people not knowing enough.
I agree, and I think that we have tunnel vision. In the old days, they put blinders on draft horses, right, and mules, so that way they kept a focus on a very narrow field, because that's where they're going to plow that straight line. Otherwise, they get distracted, they'll wander left or right. So it's both man and beast working together. When it came to this, I think people put some very narrow blinders on because they decided this is our cause to champion. This is the cause celeb. There's answers to questions. I mean, I'm not one that just loves pouring through documents, but when it becomes this important, I don't want to embarrass myself.
Exactly.
And so everybody's trying to add up how much water we might get, because it's not a done deal. It's not fully permitted. We had one option at that. And people pulled out every string and connection they had to get us to where we were from the state level on down. Now, like it or not, sometimes the best train you're on, if you're on the wrong train, get off. I've heard somebody say, and I appreciate that. But if it's the only train that's running, it's the only one you know for a fact that's there, and you get off that train because there might be, and we could see some other tracks coming, and there's things planned, but your train's running, you might not want to get off in the middle of nowhere. And I think that's the problem that we've had. If we want to grow as a city, we're trying to match, look, we can add up 1 million gallons of water a day to get to what we need now, and a little bit more for the high volume use. But that's at negative 1.1% growth, while the rest of the state is growing. The governor, whether he's there or not, and he's going to be there for a while, and he's got friends that are going to be there for a while, they're going to remember that they did all this, sacrificed, rediverted, and then we told them, we changed our mind. The problem with this is that we have a project that takes 10 years to get to where we are, and we have a council that's reelected every 2 years. I suggested this the other day. We need to go to a mandatory zero-based budget every 2 years, all right? Start from scratch. It's not the same thing as a balanced budget. Let them see where we can save some money, and then stop wasting money on stuff that we shouldn't be doing. We auction off boats, helicopters, planes, whatever we confiscate, but we destroy every firearm that we can't find back to an owner. There's no reason why. That's a constitution-protected thing. You can have all the background checks you want, and nothing holds their value or increases like firearms.
Absolutely.
And there's no reason why we're doing that other than we're playing politics with things. In addition to that, I said, look, let's have a let's start a water club, if you want to say it, where you can get a discount, and over a 1 year, 12-month period, you pay anywhere from $100 to $500. If we had and that's just based on 118,000 households. We've got businesses, we've got other things as well that we could do. And with that, in 1 year, if we had an average of $500 out of 118, we've got a lot more ratepayers than that.
Yeah.
We'd have $59 million. Now, there's a lot of people who couldn't afford it. That's okay. They can afford something to pay a little extra over 12 months. And some could pay more if they want. You get a discount on your water rate at a conservative 3% interest in 10 years. We've got $79 million. That goes into something that we can borrow against, only use in emergency situations. You write it's much more controllable than it is on a bigger scale.
Well, and it's something that actually points to something Ted Mandel brought up a while ago. He's like, I get a water bill every month, and they tell me exactly how much water I used. There needs to be a way for, especially with city council and city government, not just city council, because I'm going to include everybody in the city in this, because get this, we're all in it together.
Right,
Imagine
right.
that, guys. To find out, what water conservation issues or aspects of use we're going through. I want to see the results of that. I'm curious to find out household to household, neighborhood to neighborhood, who's saving more water, what impact that's having, and what is actually being done. And the whole thing, it's like someone saying, well, I got to recycle this can, but you're throwing away bins full of cans and everything. Like, what is this one can? Does it really matter?
Why aren't we using glass? Now, and I say this again. Now, there's a lot of answers to that question, and I know what a lot of them are. But glass fault is the number one thing they're using in asphalt. And I've had in the past, Dennis Berry said, I will buy every pound of glass the city collects. And he offered him a price. Never could get him to move forward on it. Maybe it's time to revisit some of that, because Bay Limited, they do global contracts all over the place. The other thing that we could do, and I say this, why don't we have a prepaid speeding ticket? Average ticket is from $239 to $500, depending on how much you're going over the speed limit. Pay $150 and you get out of that ticket as long as you're not going through a school zone. That would one thing I would say for sure. Can't speed through a school zone, right?
Yeah.
So as long as you're not going through a school zone, $150, you prepay that. That goes into account. One of the biggest costs we have is retirement for police officers, because that, they live and we got to keep taking care of them because they put their lives on the line for us. It's justified. But this could go into a trust that gains interest rates and helps to relieve some of that operating cost from the city. I'd pay $150, and if I don't use it in 10 years, whatever it is, hey, great. When I do, I don't have to go through driver's ed. I don't have to sit through that online course that asked me what my license plate was in 1997. I mean, I don't know, and I think people would do that. That's something, it's voluntary. There's no pressure. You don't have to do it, but I bet you people would.
That's an interesting thought. And if you want to keep thinking with us, make room through the airwaves for the Mushroom Cloud of Truth coming at you 9 to 10 daily. Who do you have on tomorrow?
Tomorrow I have my former supermodel and champion breeder of Boston Terriers, and we have Kristen Johansson Weisheimer.
Outstanding.
She's as tall as her name is long, 6'2", and tons of fun. We're going to talk about all sorts of great stuff.
Y'all had a great show last Friday. I was listening. It was outstanding.
Thank you.
Can't wait to see what you guys come up with. We're going to leave you with a little bit of Ty Dietz, our buddy local musician. This has been the Eric Von Wade Show on KUKA Driscoll, Texas 105.9 and 103.3, and on Retro Tejano 104.1.
Mushroom Cloud Truth out.
She's a sleeping giant, and I'm a loaded gun. I pull the hammer back in the morning sun. Well, it's a vicious cycle, we always come undone. But we can stitch it